Normally, I would be sharing my screen and showing examples on the computer of myself teaching chess or some other subject like computer programming. But since I can't do that for this specific demonstration of teaching, I'm going to try to explain in my own words why chess is such a unique game and why it is for everyone. Chess isn't just for the very smart people or people with a good memory, and it doesn't involve math skills either, contrary to popular belief and things I've heard from people. Instead, chess is a game of skill. That means there's no flip of a coin, there's no dice rolls. It's simply knowing the rules of how pieces can move and players taking turns as to where they're going to move those pieces with the restrictions of those rules. And it is through the exchanging of moves between two players. The person who remembers the rules the best has an advantage, but it's also a game of intelligence. And sometimes you may do something like you may move a piece somewhere and let your opponent capture it to distract them while you launch another attack with an entirely different piece. So it's a game of wits. It's a game of brains and smarts. And unlike the game of Monopoly, where you just get lucky with your dice rolls and you land on the property, you buy it, your opponents land on it and pay you rent, Monopoly is a game of luck, whereas chess is a game of skill. And in a certain sense, there are other games that are in that category, such as checkers, which is a very simple game, as is Connect 4. And although they are different than chess, what they have in common is they're very skill based, in that when you win, you don't have the feeling of, oh, I just got lucky. And when you lose, you don't feel like, oh, sometimes the cards just don't fall your way. No, instead, you look at what happened. You try to think, well, what mistake is it that I made that cost me the game? What can I do in the future that is different? And what I love the most about modern technology as it relates to the gaming and esports world, including chess, is that everything is recorded. Your moves are recorded. You can have video recordings. And therefore, you have the ability to not try to remember what happened, but to actually go back and play it move by move and see what went wrong. It's sort of like in the regular sports world. So when somebody is playing football or baseball, and they are unclear whether there was a violation of the rules and a player did something they weren't supposed to do, well, the entire thing is video recorded. So they do this instant replay thing and they go back and look at it, and then a referee often has to make the call like, wait, that was wrong. That is not in the rules. And so the fact that things are recorded, when things are recorded and streamed, and there is a notation for your moves in chess, for instance, it makes it very easy to see exactly what happened, who did what. And this is an important thing to recognize in the world of chess, whether it's in official tournaments played over a physical board of pieces, or whether you're playing online with people. To see what actually happened is especially helpful. And it's for this reason that I particularly like things that are recorded. I like when things are recorded, I like when things are documented. And sometimes I will write something. I'll write notes to myself, or I'll record a video or take a screenshot of something very important that happened as a reminder. Because I don't have the best memory in the world. In fact, I would put my memory as below average. But memory is only half the story. And it's also less important in a modern world where we have technology to record things for us. And Another unique thing about the game of chess that is not true of any other sport in the world is chess notation. Now, chess notation is a way of documenting chess moves. Every piece has a letter which represents it, such as K for king or N for knight, because although knight starts with a K, K is already used for king, so using the second letter of knight, Q for queen, and so on. And every square has a name. It's like reading a map. So you know that D4 is in the center of the board. It's directly two squares in front of where your pawn in front of your queen starts if you're playing as white. So everything has a letter and number. So everything from A1 to H8. So every square has a name. Every piece has a name that can be described in one letter. And through chess notation, people actually have played chess by writing letters in the mail to each other. I read about the history of this on the International Correspondence Chess Federation. People would send letters to each other by carrier pigeon or postal mail, where they would write the notation of a chess move they were making and mail it to someone. And then that person would read it and they would be like, okay, I make this move in response. And those moves could, of course, be demonstrated and played on a physical chessboard, even if the two people playing chess with each other were thousands of miles away. It was still possible to play a game of chess long distance. Look, people in entirely different countries in the world, they can't play football or baseball or basketball together, but they can play chess together through the power of the internet or even postal mail if that's what they desire. So I think you may begin to understand why chess is a rather unique game compared to others that are considered sports. Having a notation for what is moved where, what piece was moved from what square to another, and what landed in a checkmate, who won, who lost, what were the ratings of the two players, how did the ratings change based on the difference in the players' ratings. As you can see, there's a lot that goes into chess. There's so much that goes into chess because chess is the world's board game sport. And I'm only talking about Western chess in my demonstrations here. But there is Japanese chess, Korean chess, and Chinese chess, and many other variants, and they are all very special.